And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Cool.
It's Friday. It's umbraCoffee. Marcin is still on a holiday, so you'll have to put up with just me today. And I'm joined by the wonderful Henk Boelman. Boelman? How do I pronounce it?
Boelman.
Boelman. Well, there we go. Henk, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Awesome. I guess we could just dive straight into what's been going on this week. Firstly, congratulations. You've just become a Microsoft MVP.
Yes. I became a Microsoft MVP in June, the 1st of June.
Awesome.
So it was quite a surprise. It came in straight after Code Garden, almost. So, and I got awarded in the category AI, which I've been talking about for the last years.
A little while. And you did a demo at the UK Fest, I believe, of a package, and Code Garden, of a package that you've worked on about cognitive services and other tools in the Umbraco back office.
Yes, exactly. On the UK Festival, I did a demo of my Vision package and of the Face API package, so that it can detect members in images. So that was quite cool. And I was invited to do on Code Garden a bigger session about AI. So we talked a little bit about machine learning, what it can do, how it works, and how you can use most of the cognitive services in the back office of Umbraco, how you can extend it.
That's pretty awesome.
Quite cool.
Yeah,
quite cool to be on such a big stage.
Yeah, it's a topic that I'm quite interested in too. So at the UK Fest as well, I demoed a thing I'd been playing about with. It was a bit of a joke, a little bit of fun, but it's a two-factor authentication step for the Umbraco back office that recognizes you using the cognitive services custom vision. So you associate yourself, you take a picture of yourself in the back office against your user, and then when you log in, it comes up with a screen where the webcam goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, takes a picture, and it checks to see if you match the user you've tried to log in with, and if you do, it lets you in. It's just a kind of quirky demo.
Cool. Yeah.
Quirky demo, a little bit of fun, but it's really, really cool to start playing around with some of these.
And it is so easy, right? To use that AI in your websites. You just have 2 or 3 API calls, and you have that technology available in whatever application you want.
Yeah. They've released libraries, haven't they, for kind of accessing all of the cognitive services in .NET, so you can just do go away and get any data you want out of it, send an image, it will come back with an object with all of the things that it's detected in that image, for example. It's really, really cool, very powerful.
Yeah, and they're still developing it. It gets better and better and better.
Absolutely.
So it is quite cool. And making a lot of progress in that area. Yeah. And it's going very fast. And those APIs are becoming available. Like a year ago, they were still like in preview. So they were working in the US very, very, very well, but in the rest of the world, not so good. But now everything is getting general available, and even in Africa, you can use it.
Just before
use it very fast.
Just before the Poland Festival last year, actually, the Cogworks team, we all sat down and we decided we were going to prototype something. And the hot topic at the time was Azure Cognitive Services. So we prototyped a facial recognition for the team, where it would recognize you and give you a custom response like, hey, you look happy or sad today. A little bit of fun, but on .NET Core as well, gave us some exposure to these different technologies. And I remember at the time they were only available in the US. Most of them were in preview, and now they just seem to be rolled out everywhere, and everyone's using them.
Yeah, everyone is using them. Yeah, what I did for a company I worked before is we created a system that could give access for events. So instead of having like a QR code or your mobile, you just, while signing up, you uploaded a picture of your face, and you can just walk into the event. And when you came there, you get yourself scanned at the screen, your ticket comes out, your conference pass is printed, and you just walk in.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we still use the member section of Umbraco for as the back office.
Really nice. And so you mentioned that you have an Umbraco package, which I the screen we can see it's this one, infuse AI into you, and it does the vision stuff that you mentioned about tagging images based on
Yes.
the different values that come back from cognitive services. Is this the one that contains members, or is that something else?
This is not the one that tags the members. That is available on my GitHub. So I have the Umbraco demo I used at Code Garden. That one is available on GitHub, and there you can just copy and paste all the code. And it is quite hard to keep the package up to date because of the SDK. They release, I think, every 2 weeks a new one. So you're always behind, and they're changing a lot.
Yeah.
And because it are just a few calls, I would recommend everyone just to look at my repository and copy the code of the event handlers to do that.
Fair enough. Cool. And I guess it would be great if we could put a link to that Git repository as well in the chat. So I'll put a link down below for people that are really interested in going to look at that. Now, onto some other stuff. So you've been quite busy this week. You announced on Twitter that for the Dutch Umbraco user group festival, you are looking for speakers, right? And you said that this website's only just gone up, the event?
It went up like yesterday, I think.
Been busy.
We put it on. So we don't have any speakers announced yet. We have some, which cannot announce yet. But we're looking for speakers. And we're looking for 3 types of speakers this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for speakers that can talk 100% about Umbraco, like what did they do about headless, Umbraco 8, how to be better, how to develop in Umbraco. We have like a separate track that is focused all around the tooling you need to, for instance, to host Umbraco, to extend Umbraco. So how can you hook up Azure functions, and for instance, sending email? How do you use VSTS to deploy it to Azure? How to create the Azure environment? So we're looking, we're looking for more general talks. And we have the third track, and there we're looking for talks about personal development. How do you become a better developer? How do you become a more social developer?
Nice.
To give like a little bit more context on the conference. So it is not only focused on 100% Umbraco.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. So I'm showing my screen right now that has this pay-per-call page that you can go to submit. The deadline for submitting a proposal is the end of this month.
Probably we will extend it to half of August.
Cool. Just got to get the best submissions, right? And the festival itself is the 5th of October.
Yes.
Cool. We were saying before we went live, in fact, weren't we? The amount of festivals that are happening in October is crazy. So
exactly, yeah.
The Dutch festival on the 5th, and then we've got on the week after that, the 12th and the 11th, in fact, too, is the US festival, and they're also looking for speakers. I'll put a link to that in the description. And then the week after that, or maybe 2 weeks after, is the Danish festival.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be a busy month for HQ.
Exactly, and towards the end of September is the Poland festival, and the start of November is the UK festival. So it's going to be a really, really packed few weeks. Oh, there's even the Swedish festival straight after that. It looks like this October-November time is like the peak festival season at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So
that is going to be. It's going to be a good event, I think. We expect around 150 persons this year.
Nice.
And if we're lucky, we're going to announce the location next week. When we sign for it.
We'll keep our eyes.
We have a very special one this year.
We'll keep our eyes peeled. So it's in Amsterdam-ish, you said?
Yes. Yes. It is around 30 minutes from Amsterdam Center. So that is still quite close.
Nice. That sounds awesome. So we'll wait to see more. Moving on to maybe a bit of other Umbraco news.
Yes.
This is like a nice story that I found on Twitter, and I just thought I'd like to share it. So this was a thread where a user of Umbraco was complaining, "Oh, how do people even how can people work with this CMS? It looks rubbish. It's got such an awful UI. And the community helped out, and kind of it transpires that they were using an Umbraco foresight, which was 9 years old. And so we've kind of, the community came together. I think it was Jesper that sent a picture of the V7 UI and said, oh, it's actually much better now, don't worry. And Neil's got involved and a few people, but it's really nice to see how someone was able to transform. The community was able to transform someone's opinion of Umbraco. Han came away from this going, actually, it's not that bad. The new one looks really awesome. I'm looking forward to my new site coming very, very soon. So that's a nice story. Another nice story was this one, which Jackie, she's based up in Liverpool, and she's very active in the 100 Days of Code project, and she's been playing around with Umbraco for a while. And she wanted to know just like, where do I start? And the community piled in, and Runa helped out, linking to documentation. There was some GIFs. People described our Umbraco as not Stack Overflow, which I really love, because Stack Overflow can be kind of a toxic place. There's points to the Slack channel, documentation. It was all really, really good. So it's great to see these kind of things happening on Twitter, I think. Community getting stuck in. What else has happened this week? We had a Script release. There was, I think, a lot of the content that was covered in Script we've already covered on umbraCoffee, but one of the things that stuck out to me was Shannon did a blog a few weeks back that I'd missed completely about using NuGet packages on Umbraco Cloud. And he kind of got a step-by-step guide on how he set it up to work, which is really nice. So I intend to follow this and have a play around with it. Do you use Umbraco Cloud at all, Henk?
No, I didn't have the chance yet. Ooh. I'm still deploying everything myself into Azure.
Fair enough. Okay, well, maybe this is a good time to start playing around, follow this tutorial that Shannon's written, and yeah, see where it goes. Okay, what else has been happening this week? There's been a lot of stuff. I've struggled to cut through it all. Some software releases. The Dutch powerhouse of Richard Soetman released a sneak peek at one of his packages. Did you see this? I think it's the member export. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah. That's it, member export. So he's got a query builder for deciding the logic for you to export the data. Looks really nice, quite complex. But yeah, it's coming.
That is cool. When is it coming?
I don't know. He's not really said. I think he's just teasing the new release that's in progress.
Cool. And that will be a very handy thing.
Yeah. Speaking of teasing, and this is a plug, and I apologize for it, but I've been working on a pet project. In fact, I bashed this out in an evening the other day, a couple of hours. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So it's an integration of the Have I Been Pwned API into the back office. So if you type an email address into an email field or a password into a password field, it will tell you if that password or email is considered to be safe based on the API. And you can see from this GIF on Twitter, it's just it will come up with a little thing below the text fields, and yeah, really, really simple integration, yet quite effective. Kind of just like your AI demo, the fact that it will just automatically tag stuff. Yeah.
So actually, what we did, I was telling you about that festival we did with the face recognition, the tooling. So we had Troyant over at a festival we organized last year at the company I worked for. So we put on those screens, and of course we had all their email. So when people were passing by with those cognitive services, the faces were linked to the email. They just quickly looked up the email address in Have You Been Pwned, and then just display a wall alert, you have been pwned. on the TV screens when people are passing by with face recognition.
That's really, really cool.
That's quite funny.
That was something. So there was a discussion in this thread that I posted about how aggressive this "have I been pwned" rule is. Like, will it not let you submit the form if you have been pwned? Because some people, unfortunately, will want to use a pwned password or an email address that they just have to use that's been hacked before, though. So there's a couple of discussions about that, and there was yeah, it's not strict in any way. It doesn't force you to not use the email or password you want. It's more advisory. But I have ideas for this longer term, for like an Umbraco health check or something that will come back and tell you if your password, or sorry, if your email address of one of your back office users is considered to be pwned or something. Yeah. Maybe even a pop-up or something in the back office.
The combination would also be very interesting. That you either check the email address and the password. If both have been compromised, then that would definitely be a combination you want.
Absolutely. And I had some really nice feedback as well off a few people. Mark Goodson said about the use of the word pwned not being too user-friendly, editor-friendly. So again, there's been some great community feedback on this too, and I'm going to continue evolving it. I planned to release it last night for download, but I got tired and didn't. So,
so then this weekend we can have it.
It can be a weekend project, or maybe next week at some point. What else? I think that's kind of like the main news for this week. Could you think of anything else, Henk?
No, not really. I've been away last week, so I haven't really caught up with the news yet.
Cool. There was a few like little items that I found that I wanted to share. This one is going to change my life, I think. This was a pull request made by, I don't know who this person is, Agrath. Basically, if you use Let's Encrypt with Umbraco, you'll probably be familiar with this. You have to add /well-known into the Umbraco reserved URLs app setting in order to get it to work, because Umbraco says, well, I don't know what that is. The routing kicks in and gives you a 404. So this tells the routing, hey, ignore this URL. And for every single one of our sites, we have to add this to the web config. But now it's going to be in the core. So this is really, really neat. I'm hugely excited about this one. Such a small, simple change that's going to make a big difference to probably quite a few developers' lives.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Those small things that can make your life easier are always the best.
Exactly. And subtle as well. It's not a huge breaking change or anything. What else? I guess some final notes. So we did a V8 hackathon. Cogworks hosted a V8 hackathon at the end of last month, and we're going to be doing another one next Friday. So for those that don't know, you can come to our office in London, or you can dial in remote. We have a Zoom hangout, and you can join, and we just play around with V8. We are trying to help HQ with some of the development tasks that they want to do, but also just find issues and other stuff. So it's a great way to get involved with Umbraco and Umbraco 8's development, but also just to kind of learn, get some experience and some exposure to what's happening, what's coming up. I'll put a link to the sign up in the description again if you fancy joining. Oh, and next week I'm also speaking at the Edinburgh meetup. I'm going to Edinburgh on Wednesday. I'm doing a talk about empathy in software design. So if you're in Edinburgh, come along and say hi. I think that's about it. If there's nothing else from you, Henk?
No, yeah, I think that's it. Sounds interesting, your talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you on another episode of umbraCoffee. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Cool. Bye.